few things. You saw the first part. We was talking about Patreon members and everything. Listen, I think it was Sunday. Sunday, I was looking at things with the ad situation on our particular channel, and I was also looking at the people who came through, and even the people that came through today on Patreon as well, and they are supporting definitely, and I give those that I can see here right now the shout out for jumping on today, which is Nicole, Fran, Facing Britt, Fred Lilly Jr., Gary Joyner, Keyshawn Pitcher, Deborah Galloway, April Ford, Michael Kevin Smith, Tracy Lilly, Taylor Richard, Leandra Sims, Jack, Julian Okra, Jobiana Banks, Janelle Wilson, Letitia Jackson, Eugene Sproul, Candace Manning, Julie Anderson, and many others that I can name. We can go on and on and on. I want to thank you all for joining us on the Patreon page. Also those who have donated on the PayPal, and I thank you for that. I just wish everyone could get on the Patreon page. That way we can keep up with everyone. We get everyone's email, and that way when we want to develop, because it's something we want to do, develop an email list, and we can get you up to breast on a lot of things that we have going on. But Sunday, Miss Gabriella, I was reviewing a whole lot of things. Like I said, we were looking at still the revenues down with the ads. Now I know they're coming back here and there, but they're not back to where they normally would be. Because T kind of told me about that the other day. But even if the ads come back 100%, we don't want to be in that position again where we're like, shoot. Yeah. What'd you say, T? I mean, I'm sorry, Miss Gabriella.
No, I feel like, because YouTube's been doing a lot of funny things lately, and I've noticed a lot of people that may have started off just relying on ads, a lot of them are going to crowdfunding and other methods of raising revenue because YouTube is really not reliable right now. And I feel like they're doing that on purpose. So.
Okay, cool. I thought I did something by mistake. Anyway, thank you, Sister Angeli, for getting that food out of here. Yeah, it's always something. And like I said, even if it comes back 100%, we don't want to be in that position to deal with that again. So we were saying that if we can get the 3,000 people from our platform here that believe in this platform enough, then we will never have to worry about that. And we're not asking for 600 some odd thousand people to do anything. We're saying just if 3,000 people believe enough, and that's all you need is a minimum amount to do anything, even to spark a major change. But what's going on is I was so frustrated because, you guys don't see my emails, how flooded they are, and how people's calling me to talk about this injustice, that injustice. People telling me, call them, come over here, do this, do that. But yet, when we saying help us keep the platform alive, we not seeing it come in as we thought we should. And trust me, it is, any person who know me, I don't like to ask nobody for anything. I'd rather go without. And I'm putting my personal pride down a lot to even constantly talk about that. I don't like asking for money to help do anything. I'd rather just do videos and put out the content and move on to the next one, do live streams, help build other YouTubers in the background, do different things with business, educate other brothers about business and investments. And that's things I do in the background that I don't even advertise here. That's what I like to do. I enjoy doing those sort of things. But to keep the platform going, we have to do this. So I got so frustrated, and the people on Patreon could come and tell you exactly if I said this or not. I was about to shut down production, at least for this week, on this page, because I felt that, it's not fair to the 670 some odd people that's putting in to help us keep going. And yet there are people telling me, why should we do anything? This is YouTube. It's free. It's this, it's that. But you constantly asking us to do things and speak up and fight and do all this other stuff. But when we say help us stay alive so we can keep doing it, you want to attack us over it. So I was like, forget it. I'll just do my videos like normal, but I'll just do it for the Patreon people because they supporting the platform. They're the reason. They told me, look, man, when you need to keep doing it, We support you. But some of them did say, well, maybe you can get to a point you start lessening your public uploads, because why would they want to even put in on trying to keep the platform alive? Why? He said because you're giving them what they want. So they don't want the platform shut down, but they was mentioning start cutting back the videos and maybe posting the little bit of exclusive content here, and then say go over there and watch it, because I have a list of videos now I can do, crazy stuff that I can do on Patreon that I can't publicly do here. And I enjoyed on the Patreon, we post a video there, we don't have to deal with the trolls. You don't have the racist trolls showing up, the regular trolls showing up, because at that point most trolls not willing to do a $5 monthly thing to troll. And also we have with Miss Gabriella, whenever she finished doing it, she has a special video talking about different things that she do on the platform coming. Brother Derek's going to do one. Sister Sadia is going to do one. Kellen, our business manager, is going to do one. And he's also going to do a video on Patreon about the finances for the platform, where it goes, what it do. That's his thing. I don't get involved with that. And I tell people, you got any questions, you can email him at kc@cprfirm.com. I don't get involved with the money aspect of it, other than, yes, I know what's going on, but he puts all that stuff together, brand deals, any advertising, whatever. That's his thing. You're not going to get a whole lot of information out of me, because I need to be focusing on doing these live streams and researching and doing the things I need to do. But, you know, those funds will help us to grow. We need to bring more people in. You're not going to have a Shea Marshall situation here. I promise you that, because I believe I can find the brightest and best in our community. Now, if I have to pull someone from another community, I'm going to explain to you why I had to do it. But it's not going to be a Shea Marshall situation where it's everybody else and not us, because I'm going to touch on that a little later. So if you can, if you haven't yet, because one sister on Patreon told me that at first I didn't get on the Patreon because I felt, well, you know, you got a bigger channel. And I said, listen, y'all can, that number stuff on subscribers don't add up to anything. Ms. Gabriella can tell you that. Mm-hmm. Correct?
Yeah, your subscriber count really doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. Views doesn't mean anything on YouTube anymore. They changed that. It's watch time. How long are you actually watching the videos? Also, it affects the ads. If you have an ad, it's a skippable ad. If you hit skip, the content creator don't get anything from it, or YouTube. If you let it play, then YouTube and the content creator has that split that they have. But right now, we don't want to depend on that. I know one brother, I'm not gonna mention his name, he didn't literally gave up with YouTube. He's on another platform making videos. So, you know, that's not good, because I don't want to see us just not do anything. But also, I don't want to even get frustrated myself when I see people saying I enjoy it, you know, keep doing this, keep doing that. And I say, okay, we need a minimum of 3,000 people. You know, we're coming up to the end of the month right now. We have, about 671 or so people on our Patreon right now. I get the actually 676 people on our Patreon right now that I can see. And shout out to all those 676 people that's doing that. Now on Patreon, we also give them live streams just for them, and they can get on and ask questions and anything they want to know, suggestions. And we just posted another exclusive content video. There you're going to get to know me a lot more. I'm going to tell you why I think the way I think, my upbringing, you know, different things about myself. Miss Gabriella, if Miss Gabriella will share a lot with you guys on Patreon, because Miss Gabriella, she's come a long way too, right, Miss Gabriella?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, way back from your gal days, right? Gal, how you say that?
Yeah, all that. I mean, I think people change a lot over the course of 5 or 6 years. So.
Yeah, definitely for sure. So, well, thank you, Ty Dallas, for donating to the platform as well. You know, Kellen's going to explain Miss Gabriella and what we have to pay her. She's not doing things for free, not because she demand anything, but she has to eat too. So she's doing the social media page. She's doing what she's doing here or other things that we need her to do. So people have different things going on, and he's going to explain that on Patreon. We're not going to put it out publicly because we've got too many people watching and want to run and take information, and we're not going to have that. And if they want the information that bad, I guess they're going to have to go on Patreon to get it. So the Patreon members definitely has helped us keep the platform going this week. I appreciate them on Patreon. One person say, can you donate monthly or one time on Patreon through PayPal? PayPal is great, and I appreciate every person that donated through PayPal. And trust me, I do. With the Patreon, it helps me just keep it a little bit more uniform, and it's easier to do the exclusive content there as well. And you guys are donating through PayPal. I want you guys to be on Patreon so you can get the exclusive content. There's a lot of videos that I'm going to be doing that I'm not going to do here. I'm going to start putting certain video series I quit doing on Patreon, like the disrespectful comment videos that you guys loved I used to do. I'm going to start doing them back on Patreon. I'm going to start picking certain things up I used to do and put it there because I want to give people the exclusive reason to be there. Not only knowing more about me and the platform, but giving them videos that I'm not doing publicly anymore. What they say? I don't know what people advertising in there.
Some type of party.
It's a picture be. Well, you know what? The people that support, you say is boring. Well, the thing is, you're the only person complaining about it so far, and that's fine. But we'll put out more things with time. But it's better be on Patreon because if things don't go a certain way, then that's what the video is gonna be at. So you rather be there. And like I said, I have some good videos about to come up on there. I saw today some craziness. Like I was on Facebook, Ms. Gabrielle. I'll tell you about the videos later. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna talk about business as well because a lot of us don't understand business. That's our problem. It has to do with our spending. It also has to do with our upbringing. But Mr. Gabriella, when it comes to business, how many business ventures that you tried to do so far?
It's really only one, technically. It's just the fitness thing, and the sad part is I've actually gotten more support from people of other communities than I have my own, because when it comes down to actually investing and actually spending money on something, unfortunately, our people don't want to. So if I wanted to train clients as far as personal training, I've gotten a better response from like Asian people, white people, people of other communities. But when it comes to black people, they want to hook up or they want it for free. Or they want to try to spin it so it's like instead of me actually going to their house and training for my fee, which is actually really not expensive, they kind of spin it and be like, oh, let's just work out together. No, I will not work out with you. I'll do my own workout. But that's just our people. A lot of times we'll spend money on things that don't really matter, like shoes and clothes and things like that. But when it comes to actually investing in our own, we don't do it. I don't know why people think that we're supposed to just do things for free, but that's what they think. And that's the biggest problem.
That is one of the problems, but let's talk about even these people. See, do you realize these people watch everything that we all do? And we was talking about the Shea Moisture situation, and with that, we have to understand too. I was thinking about it. This guy who's the CEO of Shea Moisture, he isn't a African American person who is a descendant of slaves in America. They don't really understand the struggle situation. I'm not saying they don't understand the struggle being black, but the struggle we've had here in America. So when we saying that he should have been doing this and he should have been doing that, listen, I've seen, and I'm not saying all, please, I'm not saying all about some of our African brothers and sisters, but some of our African brothers and sisters beat up Caucasian people's face more than we would be. I mean, not to say that they cooning, but some of them, like say, look at in some of their nations, they use skin lightening creams. They women do that a lot. I don't even see sisters doing that here like that. I mean, they are serious with it. It's been big specials with that. So, for him to do with the things that he was doing, I start thinking about it. It really doesn't surprise me. But understand something. You think them folks don't watch what I'm doing here, even on a shoestring budget, or what other brothers and sisters are doing? Now, what they'll do, because they, like I say, they swoop in at a right time. They know how to do it. They were here, and luckily, I didn't make that video publicly when I was frustrated. If I'd have made that video publicly, being very frustrated, what they would do is if they saw it, they say, we probably can get this platform from him. Let's go and email him and seeing what he is willing to offer, because he's frustrated right now. So they'll offer a certain amount of money. And if I'm frustrated at the time, well, thank you, Black Rage. If I'm frustrated at the time, then I may say, I mean, they don't care anyway. I mean, they say they do, but they don't. I mean, because I did this, but the moment the Caucasian YouTubers ask, they get theirs like this. And then when you tell them that we can do the same thing for a minimum amount, we broke. But yet we're projected to have $1.4 trillion in the year 2020 as spending power. And we're still ranked number 16 in the world as Black Americans. We created a country, we'd be number 16. We're not broke, not by a long shot. We'll get into showing you where you're spending your money. It's been updated. I got a good article about that I want to show you today. So they'll come in at that time period, or they'll come in and say, well, look, you won't have that problem anymore. We'll just invest with you. Give us so much percent. We'll bring our people in, and then you could just run the day-to-day operations, and we'll do all the marketing, and we'll do all the social media, and we'll do all this stuff for you. All you gotta do is just focus on running the videos and making sure they get out, and you can bring certain people in that you want, and we'll do everything for you. And then you be like, well, shoot, they're making my life easy. They paying me good. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. And every time. And that's why when you see somebody start off so good, and then all of a sudden, like, what happened? That's what happened. We have to support what we have going on, or it's going to be lost. When they want to grow, we have to be strategic in growth. It's nothing wrong with growing. But you have to understand one of the biggest things that we have in the Black community and business is capital problems. We can't get the capital that our Caucasian counterparts or our Asian counterparts or our Arab counterparts can get. We suffered everything in this country, literally, and yet we don't get anything in return. You have to literally pimp the game to get capital. If you can't get it from our community, then you're going to have to pimp the system. Understand the system that's built is a racial hierarchy. And that racial hierarchy, Caucasians at the top, they do what they want to do. Is they set up the system they want to set up. You're going to have to, whether you want to or not, you can be the biggest pro-Black in the world, but you're going to have to get some white people on your team. You're going to have to. And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. I talked to a guy, he's a white guy, and he has a multi-million-dollar construction company. I'm real cool with the guy. I was talking to him about this land that he owns, him and 5 other people. They own this land. And I was telling him what he can do with that land to flip the not only the tax money they're paying out, it's ridiculous how much money they're paying out in taxes, but how they can make billions of dollars. And I told him literally how to do it. And he you know, this guy looked at me and he just froze. And he said, Philip, he said, that is such a great idea. He just froze. He was shaking his head. He said, wow. He said, why aren't you doing it? That's the first thing he said. I said, David, that's his name. I don't have the land. I don't have the funds. He said, well, surely you can go ask the bank. And I know I said, no,
yeah, right.
I can't.
As a Black person, you go to the bank.
No, not as a Black person. I said, David, I would do better getting you to go talk for me to get the money than me go in there and get it. It's the truth. It'd be better for me to go get, let's say if I was to meet a white lady. And this white lady, she is you can call her whatever name, social justice warrior, whatever you want to call her. She could be the biggest social justice warrior out there, and she still can talk professional and go talk to white folks. I would have to go get this white lady, and have her be my representative to go into the banks, to go into different organizations and say she represents Advise Media Network LLC and she's trying to get capital. They would give it to her because they thinking, well, she has something to do with it. And I would have to stay in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the truth when it comes to business. And that's why I say eventually, now I'm not saying you got to do the Shea Moisture thing and everybody got to be, no. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just like how they'll hire some black people in white businesses to show they're diverse or to talk to black people. You know, they do that a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen that, right, Ms. Gabriella?
As they hiring people of the races?
Yeah, like, you know how they hire a black person or a certain black supervisor to talk to the black people, the black community, when they're trying to get, you to buy their products or make you feel they're inclusive. You ever seen them do that?
I mean, I can speak from an example of two businesses that I know in my area. There's one clothing business and then there's a beauty supply store. And I know that both of these businesses are ran by, I think it's Koreans. And they hire nothing but black people. And so you wouldn't even know that unless you knew who the owners were, because they mostly don't even come to the store, you would think it's a black business. They play hip-hop music. It's a lot of the stuff is catered towards black people. And they have black people to be their face because they're like, they even told my assistant manager straight up, I don't know how to communicate with young black people. What music should I play? Okay, I don't know how to do this. Can you help market this product for me? And so they have all these black people doing all this stuff for them. And they're not even paying them for it, which is the sad. They're not really paying them what they should get for the work they do. But sometimes that's just how things are. A lot of people, if you want to market something towards a certain race and you aren't that race, that's what you have to do.
Exactly. Like the Shea Moisture situation. If they wanted to market and create a whole different line for women of non-black hair, that's cool. If they wanted to get Asian people, they can get an Asian marketer, they can get a white marketer, they can get a Hispanic, they can get whatever they want to market that new line to them, then yeah, I'm all for that because now you tapping into that other money too. But just keep the original formula that you had and please the ones that got you where you at, and also put the ones that got you where you at in important positions as well. Because like I said, when we look at Target, we look at Walmart, you look at what Tresemme, whoever owns Nexus, all these different companies and their boards and all the important jobs is not a bunch of black folks. It's not like the white dude's the CEO and it's all blacks. You just don't see that. So we shouldn't do the same thing. I looked in another company too. It's not just Sundial Brands, Shea Moisture, or Nubian Heritage. I said, okay, I'm going to look and see if another company that's popular that do the African black soap body wash. Let's see. So I had another called Alafa or something like that. Maybe you guys know that brand, ALAFFA. And on their website, it's all talking about we donate this much to Africa and different programs in Africa. And it's all Africa out on the website. Then I went to LinkedIn. I said, let me look like we did Sundial. Same thing. All white folks on that too. I said, do black people do these jobs? Like, this the thing. We talk about black-owned businesses. Why? We talk about it because we want the opportunity to be hired. We can't be hiring the black-owned corporations. Yep. You know how sad that is? That is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem right there, what you just said. Us going to white venture capitalists. And then that's when they bring their people in when you do that. Like I said, it's been a few times that people want to talk to me about venture capital, more than once. And I'm telling you, turned it down. I could have had money a while back. I turned it down because I didn't want what we are building to turn into Shea Moisture. Sure, they would have paid for studios and they would have gave me money and all kind of other stuff. But when you looked up, I'd have been Shea Moisture too. I said, I just can't do that. I don't want to look at what we trying to build, and now it don't even look like what we started off to be. At least if I'm going to bring somebody in, I'm bringing them in, not because you put up some money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. If you took business and finance class in your senior high school, that's a very, very smart thing to do. Look at BET. No, I don't want an investor. Unless that investor going to let me kind of do the contract and they're a silent investor. They're not going to be coming in Shea Moisture and me. That's not going to happen. Nobody going to look up on LinkedIn and we get to a certain point and they're going to come calling me out. It's not going to happen. I believe we should create businesses to create jobs in our community. Man, everybody else got to create jobs in their community, the white community, the Asian community, all these different communities create jobs. They don't sit up there and just employ a bunch of us. Unless it's some low-level job, then they'll do it.
See, that's the thing, though. I know people keep asking for you to get an investor, but when people invest into you, secretly, it's because they want you to be the voice of whatever they're trying to push. So, yeah, initially, they'll let you do whatever you want, but then over time, they're going to start whispering in your ear and saying, hey, I'll give you a little bit more money if you change your slant a little bit. So the next thing you know, we might have a more liberal stance, and then we'll move over to being really conservative. And then 2-3 years down the line, we'll be, I'm not going to name names, but we'll just be like just another coon channel.
Hold on, Ms. Gabriella. Siobhan Blue says some of the Sundial people deleted their profile on LinkedIn. Did they see my video? They had to. But you know what? Kellen, since he's in PR, he tweeted them my video.
Oh.
And he asked them, hey, what's going on with the hiring? He did do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they watching. You doggone right they watching. They had to.
Oh, of course.
Why you deleting your LinkedIn? If anything, the CEO needs to say, you know what? Dog, not only I messed up on the formula, I'm not even hiring. So I need to start hiring quick. Oh, you sent the video to them? Well, it wasn't a lie. I didn't lie about anything. Why didn't you take screenshots? I got the video on my hard drive. There's no reason to take screenshots. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, yeah, I told you they watch. They watch. They do watch. Everybody. Let me tell you something. The mainstream media even talking about Shea Moisture right now. And the only reason they talking about it because we on social media, the people's media, was talking about it first. All of them be watching what we talking about. Why the mainstream media even get involved with that? To me, that's a black issue. But knowing them, they salivating to try to destroy them. They want them to go down. And even at the end of my video, I didn't say they should be destroyed or whatever. I just said, dude, you got some explaining to do, and you need to make some changes real quick. If he can make some changes real quick and fix the issue, then I'm good with it, because we have a lot of white-owned companies do a whole lot of foul stuff, and we still go back to them. So, at least I'll try to give him a chance to fix it. He refused to fix it. That's on him. Okay. DeAndre Tanaka, thank you for joining us on Patreon. Kimberly Black, thank you for joining us on Patreon. Okay, one person asking, do we do summer internships for college students for journalism and media studies? You would have to email our business manager about that at kc at cprfirm.com, and he will get with you, and we'll see what we can do about that. Now, Ms. Gabriella, we're going to go to the website that I was telling you about that we're gonna go through. So we about to put that up on the screen.
Okay.
All right, so this website is talking about it's blackinamerica.com, updated how do black people spend their money. And as we go down here, I mean, look let's talk about that. Look at that picture right there, Ms. Gabriella.
Yeah.
All them shoes and a bunch of monkeys shining around their neck and arms. Let me tell you what I told brother the other day.
Embarrassing.
I said that, for 246 years, we had chains around our neck involuntarily. I'm not putting no chain around my neck as a grown man. Not doing it. None of that shows wealth. That shows being a consumer. The people who made the money is the people who made the jewelry.
Right.
And then some of those, if those are real diamonds, a lot of them are Diamondique or CZ for a lot of this mess. A lot of times you go to them Arabs to get a lot of that stuff, and they hustling too. And shoot, even some of them Arabs, you can talk down prices with some of them in the right area. All right, so this has been updated from the November 5th, 2010. Now, the good question right there. They talking about how long does money stay in the community. Is it a good brother and sister counting some money? I like to see that. All right. Once again, $1 circulates 6 hours in the black community. 6 hours. 6 hours. You hear me? 6 hours. In the white community, 17 days. Not 17 hours. 17 days. In the Jewish community, 20 days. In the Asian community, 30 days. You know what that tells you? The Asian community has the best of group economics. They create their own businesses. They support their businesses. If you notice, I want you guys to notice something tomorrow on the road. I want you to see every Asian person you see. I want you to see what car they driving. 9 times out of 10, I can bet on it. They're driving a Asian brand car. One day I just looked at that and I like, wow, they also now. I have to say something. A lot of Asian brands are a lot better than some of these American brands. I'm gonna have to say that, but they all support. I rarely see an Asian person in a Ford or a Chevy. Doggone right, Asians respect each other more than we do. So, but yeah, you're right. 6 hours, that's bad. 6 hours. And who get the money? According to this, most of the white community, the Jewish community, and the Asian community get all the money. So we talk about the wealth gap, and we will go through that. Say the wealthiest 5% of black Americans are slightly less to hold financial assets, stock, bonds, and so on in their asset mix. Let's talk about that. Let me see. Hold on. Rico Thomas, thank you for joining us on Patreon. And also the brother that just donated to the on the super chat as well. Stocks is so easy to buy. You know how I learned how to start doing stocks early in life? In economics. Did you have economics, Ms. Gabriella?
I did, but my economics professor wasn't very good at it.
I had a great one. I had an awesome one. And how I learned stock trading was, he said, listen, I'm going to give you guys a mock $10,000. He showed us how to read the stocks. He showed us how to look at, when the prices. He showed us how to read the charts. He taught us about stock splits. He taught us about all that. This older white guy that was my teacher. Everybody hated the class. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't wait to get there. So in my class, I passed that class like with a 98 because I just love learning how to move money, learning about options, and now when you're doing options trading, that's a little bit more risky because you're like, when they say that people made a lot of money on the housing crash, Ms. Gabriella?
No.
You remember that? Okay, with that on 08 when they had the big housing crash.
Yes, I remember
that. A lot of people got paid. The reason they got paid is because of options trading. Because if you look at this one stock and you know it's about to go down, that Martha Stewart stuff, you start hitting that stock's gonna go down. So I'm gonna invest $1,000, and if that thing go down on the next tick, you got paid. So you can lose money real quick on options trading, or you can gain money real quick on options trading. So they was gaining real quick that way. So that's why I said a lot of people made millions of dollars at the fall of the housing market. Now it's a harder market to get into. At one point in time, you could have gotten in homes with nothing down or very minimum down. Now they want a full 3% and all this other stuff you got to have now than before, because the government put in all these regulations when Obama saved the housing market. So a lot of us don't even do that. You can get a simple TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, or whatever. I like TD Ameritrade. You can start off with $100. There's no minimums on TD Ameritrade. And you can start trading stocks. If anything, buy stocks and companies that you patronize. Me, like I said, I started doing that a long time ago. Another brother, I got him into it. So man, that's all we talking about. Trading. Sometimes we talk about penny stocks. Penny stocks is risky, but we ain't getting into that. You can start off on stocks. Like you can buy Starbucks. You can buy whatever you like to do. Buy into it. Buy you 1 share, 2 shares. It make you some money. You can sell it. Now you got some money. Then all of us at the end of the year, because you made a little money, you gonna have to pay capital gains tax. So make sure you pay your taxes with that. But you can become wealthy overnight on the stock market. You can. If you hit the right penny stock, you can become rich, literally. If you buy it at 0.001, and let's say you threw in maybe $100 on it and get up, let's say 1 million shares. If that thing hit the next day at $1, do you know you made $1 million? Or even if it hit 1 cent, then you made $100,000. So what I'm saying is, it's better than the lottery. You have more chances of hitting on the stock market than you're going to do the lottery and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, excuse me, I'm fighting a cold. So they say wealthy black Americans have more money in real estate holdings than equally wealthy white Americans. The former, hold 41% of non-financial assets. So they talk about we have a lot of real estate, in which real estate is something good to have. Now they talk about black and Hispanics lag in building wealth. Now they talk about whites, where they at, where blacks are at, and where Hispanics are at. Not very much of a difference. And they talk about the main reasons for that is more or less likely to be homeowners or participate in retirement accounts, which build wealth. Yeah, we need to start buying homes, guys. We can't rent an apartment all our life, because at any moment they can sell an apartment. And do you know there's a lot of programs out there right now that you can buy a home. If your credit score is, sometimes you get a house at 580, but I would tell people try to get in a house with a 680 to 700 credit score. There's a lot of programs. You can get an FHA loan. You can get a USDA loan. There's all kind of loans that make sure you get a fixed account when you do that. And this is something that we need to do, because we are suffering here. Now, they say whites have saved more for retirement than blacks and Hispanics. So as you can see here. Now, they say black and Hispanics have also socked away a lot less for retirement, 401k, and IRAs. We're not thinking about our future. Now, if your job offers a 3% match, 5% match, put in the 401k. What did she say? I look into that. Put in your 401k 3% or 5%, and then the company match you. Then let's say you have 10% now, and you just leave it alone, and it's pre-tax anyway. Leave it alone. Let's say we talking about that home. You be there a few years or so. Let's say you are 100% vested into your company. Usually about 5 years or so you've vested into your company. You can get a loan off your own 401k. This is your money. Take that money, use it as a down payment for your house. You didn't really come out of pocket. And then you'll pay back within your paycheck your own loan. And you don't have to worry about the bank, because this is your money. You understand what I'm saying? So it's things that we need to look into. Does Gary want to add anything before I keep going?
I mean, you're just talking about the only thing I did want to add into that is, again, I think that we as a people should try to save our money. I've seen a lot of people in the comments section talking about apartments. Honestly, I would say from experience, never ever spend money on an apartment. I would say if you can, and this is where we as a people miss out, and we were talking about Africans before, but I know plenty, for the most part, a lot of Africans, and I'll say Africans, Hispanics, just everybody except Black Americans, they'll rent a house, or they'll buy a house, not rent a house, they'll buy a house, and then there'll be 5 or 6 people living in that house, all contributing to it. That makes more sense economically than you sitting there spending, especially in this area, $1,000 a month on a studio apartment. An apartment has absolutely no value. And I would recommend that if you can't, instead of, I know you want your privacy or whatever, but honestly, when you think about it long term, it is better to either rent a room or buy a house. It just makes, to me, it makes more financial sense. Because in my experience, I had an apartment for 5 years, and when I do the math, that was thousands of dollars I'll never get back for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. And now let's get back to the article. They say white people love to spend money on fashion as much as black people. They love to buy expensive cufflinks and designer purses, custom suits. The efforts are to make sure they look presentable to potential employers. They don't really care about being made fun of on a day off. That's when you see white people with sandals on those really high shorts. He say white people tend to overdo it on the suits. They tend to last them a very long time, so they treat them more like investments than clothes, which is true. If you get a good suit, it will last you a very long time. Now, I say black people love to spend money on cars. Chrysler 300s, Chargers, the new model Mustangs are our favorite. Black people also customize cars and don't really bother with leasing. The car becomes an investment instead of just something to drive. But the moment you drive a car off a lot, especially if it's brand new, you lost $10,000. Now, what a lot of these people who got money do, they lease their cars and they drive them and then they trade them back in. So they can have a more expensive car with a lesser car note. Now, they say white people love to spend money on cars too. They lease cars. Like they say, most of the BMWs, Benz that you see are leased, which I just said that. They have more of an economic car than a leased car. They figure out it's just a car and pretty soon I need another one, so I just rent the newest one out. Leasing a car is throwing away money that could be used somewhere else. More on cars later in this article. So they say this brother from Nation of Islam research organization, he looked at our wasteful spending. And here we go. We spending $3.3 billion on something that's going to kill us, which is called tobacco. We're spending $3 billion on whiskey, wine, and beer. Non-alcoholic drinks, we're spending $2.8 billion. Leisure time spending, $3.1 billion. Toys, games, and pets, $3.5 billion. Telephone services, $18.6 billion. Because you know us as black people, we're going to have the latest phone too. We're going to have all the apps. We're going to have it all. Gifts, $10 billion. Charitable contributions, a lot of times to your churches, $17.3 billion. Healthcare, $23.6 billion. It's a lot of money, folks. And none of that is going to even the black community. You're not going to buy tobacco from the black person. You're not going to buy the whiskey, wine, and beer from black folks, non-alcoholic drinks. 9 times out of 10, you're going to the club, which is 9 times out of 10 aren't owned by black people. And if they are, they probably rent the place themselves. The movies, you guys are always there. You guys spend a lot of money on everything. Mm-hmm. And how is that benefiting your community? But I thought we were broke, Ms. Gabriella. This is what they say, we broke. We don't have no money. How is it, Ms. Gabriella, in Houston, you got women that'll spend $1,500 on a sew-in?
Wow.
But we broke.
Mm-hmm.
You got dudes getting these candy paint jobs here in Houston, $3,000 paint jobs and up, but we broke. I see black folks driving Mercedes Benz in Houston, but we broke. I see black folks driving Ferrari, Lambo in Houston. Black folks shop at the Galleria in Houston all the time. Y'all be in Prada. Y'all be out there in Louis Vuitton. Y'all, anything that we have in Houston that's expensive, I guarantee you I find black folks somewhere. Don't tell me black folks are broke. Don't tell me that. Black people live in the Woodlands.
Broke. We're not broke. It's just that we waste our money. See, I think this is the problem. I feel like we get our paycheck, and that's why it's gone in 6 hours or whatever they say. We can't wait to spend it. We take our. This is just pure observation. Every single time I know that people have gotten paid in my area, you can't go to Walmart, you can't go to the mall, you can't go anywhere. So it's packed with black people. So we take our paycheck and we spend it all up until we have nothing left. And then you see the next day people on the phone making payment arrangements. So it's not that we're broke. It's that we spend our money on things that have no real value. We spend money we're like children. We spend our money on things that we want and not on things that are actually important. We go shopping first before we pay our bills.
Yeah. It's kind of like my grandpa say. He said, "Oh, look, let's look at them." He said, "It's like their money burning in their hand. They got to get rid of it." And that's what's wrong with us. It's burning our hands. Mm-hmm. We can't hold on to it. We can't put it in the bank. Shoot, some of us don't. Look, Miss Gabriella, some of us don't have a debit card. Some of us don't have a credit card. Some of us don't even have a bank account. Something that you need to operate. Mm-hmm. But everything we want to do is cash and all this other stuff. I'm like, come on. But we quick to spend the money. Mm-hmm. And we don't have anything for a rainy day. Our children, some of us are so horrible with our spending habits. We don't even get life insurance, Ms. Gabriella. Thank you, Daniel Cruz, for donating.
If it wasn't for GoFundMe, I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't even be able to bury their family members.
Yeah, I think it's sad if you're going on GoFundMe to bury somebody. You can spend possibly $25 a month on a life insurance policy. Shoot, if you say, you know what, I never did nothing, but I want to get a high dollar life insurance policy. When I pass away, at least my kids will be good. You can at least do that. Mm-hmm. Start, that way your kids, like the old people say, they're not burying you with a cup. That's embarrassing that your kids can't. I don't want to put my kids in a situation they can't bury me. Or they scrambling to try to give me a funeral. Man, come on. Most funerals, cheap ones is like what, $10,000 to $15,000. Mm-hmm. Get you at least $100,000 policy. That way it pays for the funeral. Leave a little money for your kids. If you was the type of person that didn't really have a whole lot of money all over your life, leave them something when you're gone. Well, we got to think and we have to do better than what we're doing. So, of course, it said Nation of Islam theorized that when most blacks emerged from slavery, it frightened the hell out of white folks. They knew the money and knowledge in black hands that meant blacks would have the power to determine their own destiny apart from white domination control. The first impulse blacks had after slavery was to get far away from whites as possible. They even set up over 60 all-black towns, which is true, in which they managed free of white authority, which is true. And they didn't have crime and none of those problems. No black-on-black this, no thugs, no none of that. Everybody worked together hand in hand as a beautiful people. They say this trend had to be stopped because of black independence came the total loss of the labor that whites totally depended on. This created a tremendous amount of oppression. Blacks responded to this oppression by becoming fast spenders. So today, blacks don't trust banks or the courts. Blacks trust only that which they can hold in their hands at the very moment. As destructive that behavior is to black progress, is exactly how profitable that behavior is to whites, who would do anything to keep blacks on that thinking track. So he says something to think about. So he's talking about the black banks. And I definitely got a story about this one. There are approximately 21 black-owned banks with assets totaling approximately $4.7 billion. That's only about 0.43% of black Americans' $1.1 trillion buying power. Now, During this ad crisis, let me take this off the screen so I can talk about black banks here for a minute. During this ad crisis, we said, okay, black-owned banks, the biggest problem with them is nobody know who they are. So let's see if we can reach out to them and see if we can sit down and talk with them, bring them on the show. Hopefully we can make a deal with them about advertising so we can leverage our audience and say, hey, you want to open up a bank account, black-owned bank, here you go. Went to One United Bank. They didn't even have a marketing department. They had this other lady that was doing their marketing. My guys constantly calling One United, trying to get them to say, hey, trying to set something up. No information. Talked to one of the branch managers. He was asking about a money situation. Couldn't even answer that, and you're a branch manager. How in the world are you going to have a bank and you can't even advertise? That's the biggest problem with a lot of our businesses. Nadir Ilamin, if I'm saying it right, thank you for donating through PayPal. Somebody else, hold on, I forgot to call him out. Corey McDuffie, thank you for donating as well on Patreon. If you're not telling people you in existence, then how are you going to know what's going on? Shoot, me, I want to look at how I get my logo everywhere. Shoot, I go up there and say, if I got a chance, hey, where them one of them NASCAR guys at? I put my logo there. I put my logo on motocross. I try to get my logo in where I can so people can know I exist. So people say, what's that logo? What does that mean? Google it, and maybe they'll like what we do. I guess I just think a lot different. Advertising and marketing is something that we spend money on here, and it's very important to market whatever you have. And that's why black people a lot of times don't make it, because we don't market anything. And we don't want to join with each other to help each other out to grow and expand. But let's go ahead and go to the next thing we'll look here. All right. Another school of thought shared by blogger Matthew Corbin, who wrote 5 reasons why black people are still broke. Number 1, Ms. Gabriella, black people spend more money than they make.
Well, definitely.
Okay. Number 2, black people don't support black businesses. And if they do, if they make one mistake, they out of there. Black people don't save their money. Black people don't know how to invest. That's very true. Black people aren't working towards getting out of poverty. Unfortunately, and very, very unfortunately, what I'm about to say, that's true. There are people that really don't want to hear talk about business, entrepreneurship, education, liberation. They're actually happy in a impoverished position. And I'm like, look, we can do it on our own. We can get free of this stuff. Man, my mama was this way and my grandmama was this way. Like, what that got to do with you? Like, you don't want to do better? And it's really sad. It's extremely sad when we see this. Now, this one, I actually saw this quote out of a book someone wrote about Donald Trump here. It's Donald Trump. It's coming from, what's the name of that book? And I even retweeted it on my Twitter one day. He said, I've got black accountants at Trump Castle and Trump Plaza. Black guys counting my money. I hate it. The only kind of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes, whatever that is, every day. I think the guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. It really is. I believe that it's not anything they can control. That come from a book. I've seen that excerpt. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. I can care less about stereotypes. But the fact is, we became lazy, Ms. Gabriella, after we got off the plantation field.
Mm-hmm.
I want y'all to notice that. That's when we became lazy. Interesting. So they say Donald Trump has a plan for black people, et cetera, et cetera. So, we definitely can go through all this other stuff we're reading here about the population and our spending power. And I want to point at something else. Now, here, I'm pretty sure some of you seen this. Black-owned businesses only get 2% of the black consumer dollars. If black consumers spent 10% more of their income in black businesses, it would generate $1 million for African Americans. After the government, black businesses are the biggest employer of African Americans. So that's something that we should, definitely think about here. And I'll end up putting that once this is done in the description box. You guys can go and look at this yourself. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is we're not broke. We need to support our businesses. Learn to save some of your money. Even some of y'all for years was on that 10% of your income to these church houses, and then some of y'all not going to church. Can you guys take that same 10% of your income and put in a savings account? I'm just saying. How many of you have savings account for your children? Or do you have your children set up as beneficiaries to certain accounts that you may have, like your life insurance or your 401k if something happens to you? Because you know what? In life, anything can happen to us. God forbid, a drunk driver, illness. I mean, we don't know. So we always want to be prepared for our kids to be taken care of. And, you don't want to burden them in your time of passing. Well, Shayla May say some of these black-owned businesses don't know how to run a business properly, like taking 2 months to deliver their products. Yeah. That's. But you know what? We all in the black community need to learn more about that, and we need to tell them is, hey, what's going on, brother or sister, about a product. Now, if it's back ordered, just tell us it's back ordered right now, and you'll let us know as soon as it get available. I think communication is the key to a lot of that stuff. That's even what I'm learning is communication, because when you think you said something, then something people took it in a different way. So that's why I say for me, I like to bring in people to help. That way they can make us a lot better. Mm-hmm. Oh, you say African? Well, look, this is what I said about African. I think we all should just join together. They got Nigerians right here in Houston, Miss Gabriella. They got a lot of money. Like I said, I'll join real quick the Nigerians. Shoot, I'm 25% Nigerian. I'll join in with them. I talked to them. I think a few weeks ago, some Nigerians. We all spread apart and. Not on the same wavelengths about a lot of things, but them Nigerians, they do great in business here in Houston.
That's it. I feel like the one thing that's holding us back as just a people in general is that we split ourselves up more than other races do. Because from what I've seen, Africans and blacks for some reason don't want to get along, and I don't know why. I feel like because at the end of the day, like I've seen black Americans say, oh, I'm better than Africans, or Africans saying they're better than black people. But at the end of the day, they don't care. Other people don't care. They see us all as the same people. So the fact that we split ourselves up is stupid. And I do feel like if we actually did come together, we would be able to do a whole lot more. Because when you look at other communities, when you look at Asians, they don't care if you're Korean or Chinese or Japanese or whatever. When it comes down to money, they don't care. Because I've seen a very successful company in this area. Everybody on the top is Asian, everybody on the bottom is black, and it's people from Korea, Vietnam, all these different Asian countries. They don't care. They may not speak the same language all the time, but they're making money. And I feel like if we would do that, we would be a lot better off. But we don't.
Yeah, I was just sitting here reading some of the commenters here, what they're saying about some African banks that will help black-owned businesses. Well, let me tell you something. If an African-owned bank wants to, reach out, if y'all know any of them, but shoot, send them our way. We'll talk to them. We have no problem talking to an African-owned bank or whatever. I mean, shoot, I'd rather deal with us if I can. That way I ain't got to deal with all that race stuff that come along, unfortunately, in business. But what I'm saying is I care about y'all and I want y'all to have. Like I said, I'm the type of brother, I get excited when you get a new home or you get a new vehicle or, you get a promotion on your job, you get a degree, or I get excited about that. I feel like I'm partaking in your happiness when you tell me about it. I'm not the kind of brother to get jealous of you. Mm-hmm. Not at all. Because if you make it, shoot, man, it gives me inspiration that I can make it too. And I'm just like y'all, I'm trying to make it. But also at the same time, what I've learned over the years is try to best way possible to appropriate your funds and take care of, your change, because even with business, I'm learning along the way. And one thing I'm learning definitely about business, especially even with this situation, make sure everything is on the up and up for the most part, because as you grow, more expenses come in. Because like as we changed over our structure, for instance, we have to pay franchise fees with our LLC. When we had a DBA, we didn't have to pay that. So we're learning more and more and more along the way. And we didn't learn business, unfortunately. All we knew was survival. The only business we knew of is not 401, but Section 8, welfare, child support, I guess what they used to call it, AFDC, TANF, and everything else. Something we really knew, poverty stuff. And for me, I would love to help a bunch of people, get some knowledge, and also, like say, even in the media aspect, help them come up as well, as long as they want it. Because the few people that I've definitely tried to work with and they really wanted it, they're doing very well right now, on their own. And I love to see that people grow and people start their own businesses, and that's why I support a lot of people. And just as much as I talk about, Patreon, I support people on Patreon too. And I donate out of my personal funds more than even $5, because I believe in these people and I want to see them do good, and I want to just be supportive of them. So don't think that I don't support people either, because I definitely try to practice what I preach. Oh, Cynthia, is that what you say? The problem with black-owned business is the same problem that stops black people from supporting black-owned business. This thing I feel the need to include white. Well, sometimes that happens with some people. For me, like I said, the message that we have here, it hasn't really let them try to come in at me like that. So I guess my message has shielded me from some things and also stopped me from getting some things as well. But like I was saying earlier, Cynthia, that with the issue with finance, unless you get you a brother like Carlton, as a Yale grad or Harvard grad, white folks are extremely comfortable with him or her. I guess that'd be the only brother or sister I can send to go try to get finance. Because if they ain't comfortable, like me, they ain't comfortable with me. They see me, they start looking twice. But you go get a Carlton and let Carlton go talk to him, then shoot, they'll be all happy with Carlton. They probably give him the loan. These people in the chat room, they talking about DNA test and they talking about a whole lot of things in that chat room.
Yeah.
You want to? It's one person talking about they want to become a gun manufacturer. Boy, it's a lot of money in that. And I don't know if any black gun manufacturers shoot. I mean, that's what one business to get into. Bullet, making bullets too. You always want to focus on white supremacy, liberty, and Christians taking this. Well, are you talking about the Shea Moisture thing? Well, the Shea Moisture thing, like I said, we already kind of talked about that. What Siobhan Blue said, they deleting accounts on LinkedIn. It lets me know the message went across. So if the CEO of Shea Moisture would like to come on for an interview, I would definitely talk with him. And I would definitely press him with the same questions. Why haven't you hired a bunch of black women to market the product? I would ask those questions. I definitely want to hear what he has to say. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Daniel, about they say they small and they want to grow. Did I ever do the video on New Era Detroit? No, I did not, Shayla. It says Jay Miller Speaks Out removed all his videos. I heard about that. He got frustrated with YouTube, and he removed all his videos. And he's doing videos on this platform named VidMe. I don't know if you guys heard of VidMe. He's doing his videos over there now. He was sick of the situation of putting up content, and his ads was in a tank, and and he has a family, like wife, children, and the little extra change he was getting was helping. And what people have to understand, if you're not getting extra change in this one area, then you got to stop doing certain things, and you may have to pick up extra shifts at work. Shayla, he's a good brother. He a real good brother. We talk, all the time. Evelise Cosme, thank you for joining us on Patreon. Do I get government harassment? I try to keep my mouth in line. Well, I don't have to deal with that because I know all of them watching. I don't want to be like your boy Alex Jones getting sued by a brand because I'm sitting up here saying a bunch of lies about their brand. Y'all been all that craziness by Alex Jones?
Yeah, he's been getting sued left and right.
He was getting sued by Chobani. He saying in court he playing a character. All this stuff, even though I know why he said he's playing a character, because he's in Texas courts. And Texas courts are very biased against men and heavily favor women. Trust me, I know this 100%. No matter how well you are set up, they still gonna give the child to the woman. They may give you more visitation than normal, but you're not gonna get the child too much unless that woman's on drugs or it's a bad situation. You're not getting your child as a man. And talking about that, I was just watching a video the other day, and I may see if I can reach out to this guy. He was talking about why men don't want to get married anymore, and that also plays into a lot of financial reasons as well, especially too in our community, because the biggest thing that hurt guys is what? Child support. And you can't pay child support, guess where you're going? To jail. And if you get married, a lot of these no-fault divorce states, right? A woman can leave you for any reason at any time and get half of everything. So a lot of guys are saying, screw that, I'm not getting married. And this one woman I saw the other day put up a video talking about the reasons men don't want to get married, and they were saying there's no incentive to anymore for men. Like they're losing out in the family law courts. They're getting screwed daily. And I say men in general. I'm not talking about just black men. Men in general get screwed. I got emails from white dudes telling me I'm about to go to jail. This other white dude told me in an email that if he didn't pay a certain amount of money, that they was going to take his driver's license away, and he couldn't have his driver's license. Then he couldn't go out to do a job, which I think is stupid. Why are you going to take somebody's driver's license away? How they going to do their freaking job? How they going to pay child support without a driver's license? It's like telling somebody to walk and cutting off one of their legs and not giving them no crutches. That's stupid. So a lot of these guys, especially the more successful a guy get, that's something else I can tell you. They don't want no kids. They don't want no marriage.
Yeah. It's sad, but I feel like that's going to have a lot of consequences economically, though. It may in the future. We'll see. But
well, it is already having consequences. Because see, at one point in time, when things were old school, and I did a video about old school today on Patreon, and guys, if you haven't checked that out, check out the video I talked about old school. It was very taboo to have sex before marriage at one point in time. I mean, if you did, you were found out doing that. Man, y'all getting shotgun wed, especially if you get her pregnant. Now you can get a woman pregnant now, and you ain't gotta marry her. Everybody celebrated at one point in time, and even I'm talking about the black community. A woman get pregnant, and they ship her off somewhere else, where nobody know. that she was pregnant, especially if the guy won't marry her. Then, there's so many things that we do today that we looked at in the past as horrible. The way a lot of these women dress today as well. These guys, the sagging pants, all this stuff. Guys can be sorry. They can live in a woman's house and not work and not do nothing. Make YouTube videos all day if they want to.
Yeah, put on Google Hangout for 8 hours.
Oh boy. Yeah, they can go live all day in a woman's house. And that's acceptable. And a woman to take care of a guy doing that. That's fine. So guys don't really have too much incentive anymore. And the more and more they stack on these laws, I would literally tell you marriage is declining every single day in this country. More and more people say, forget that. So I'm going to say this much. If they don't get those laws reversed, men in general will quit marriage. The only reason men are getting married now is because of religious reasons. If it ain't a man that's religious, then he's not going to get married because he don't want that problem. Mm-hmm. He don't want it. And you look at the situation, and they got some people that will hustle that system. Like, who was it? I saw somebody mention swirling. The Serena Williams and that dude from Reddit, right? It's something about him I don't trust. I don't trust that guy. He has a look about him that I don't trust. And I say that I hope that guy don't pull a Kevin Federline. Remember what he did to Britney Spears? He got her pregnant and took that kid. Same thing. Who else? Halle Berry didn't she was paying like $20,000 a month child support too?
I think that's what happened. I can't remember the whole story. But I do remember it was some black female celebrity that did have to pay her white husband. So let's hope it doesn't happen. But I mean, he might. You never know.
Yeah, like I said, I don't. Something about that guy, Serena. This is what I understand. With the Serena situation, this woman is worth so much money. This guy ain't worth anything like she is. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so why did she get with him? I thought usually, like, when women are successful like that, they want a guy that's more successful than them. Like, they usually don't try to step down. And that's the problem I have with black folks too. We will have this high standards with black folks. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to other races, we lower them standards real quick. Why do we do that?
I have no idea. I think it's just the fact that they're white, to be honest with you. Because I've seen, because a black woman will have this long laundry list of standards. He has to be 6'4", make $300,000 a year, have this, have that. But if it's a white guy, all he has to do is have blonde hair and blue eyes, and they're just hooked. He could be a felon. He could be just a bum. And they'll go chase after him. And they'll actually treat him better than they'll treat the black man that is successful. Which I think is disgusting, but I've seen it.
Yeah, look, the person was talking. That's true, Miss Gabriella. Look, they were talking about all that racist stuff they were saying about Serena's baby that's coming. And this dude didn't say crap. Just like that white dude didn't say crap about that other black girl with the Petco situation. They always don't stand up for the black woman and keep their mouth shut. Uh-huh. Now, that's supposed to be his kid, and he don't say a word. He stay on code real quick.
Oh, he knows. He knows that if he was to speak up in defense of his wife, as he should, all his Reddit fans will leave. So he just keeps his mouth shut and just probably tells her, oh, it's going to be all right. Don't say anything. And he'll just sit there and just keep his mouth shut. He's not going to defend her because he knows it's going to be too much of a loss for him. But I bet, the sad thing is, I bet that if somebody said something against him, Serena would jump up and say something.
Yep. I'm sorry, I couldn't be with no woman that ain't not going to defend me. Oh, hell no. She got to go. Yeah. I'm like this. When I'm down, I need you to put your hair in a ponytail, put on them gangster Nikes, and get to swinging.
Oh, my God. Put some Vaseline on your face.
You ain't gonna put on them gangster Nikes and tie that hair up and start swinging. Then you can't be with me. I'm sorry. If I'm gonna fight for you, you gotta fight for me too. We're gonna be fighting together. Shoot. You know what I'm talking about, them gangster Nikes. If they put the Vaseline on the face.
Yeah, they're laughing at me. I made a joke, but it's true. You better do it. Because
Oh
I
Lord, when
can't
I
be with
mentioned the
someone who
gangster,
wouldn't defend
hold
me.
on. I got we got a youngster in the room. Somebody when I mention gangster Nikes, people my age know what I mean by that. The Nike Cortez. That's what I mean by gangster Nikes. Yeah, ride or die. Yeah, that's right. You got to have a ride or die. I don't care what you say. That's something you got to have. What's the use of being like even with a woman? You shouldn't be with no man that's not going to defend you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, let somebody talk to you any kind of way or same way. That for me, I love to see when a woman just like check another woman real quick about talking, you know, a certain way. Like say, trust me, I love that. I don't know why. I'm not saying I like the hood rats, no, but when your woman can be extremely classy, but she can snap real quick on somebody if they trying to, especially another woman being rude to her man. I like, man, that's perfect right there.
Mm-hmm.
He said earrings off and kick off the high heels. Exactly. So he took Obama help. Why he did more to help black men? Oh shoot! Why Obama didn't do more to help black people? He didn't do that. He was in there 8 years and he didn't do that. He helped everybody else, but didn't help us. He could have got rid of private prisons. He could have helped black-owned businesses. He could have did a whole lot of things that he was in his power to do. Because obviously Donald Trump, he come in there to sign executive orders all day, getting stuff done.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even though his executive orders are being modified, he still signed 26 of them.
Yeah.
So why couldn't Obama do at least 10? You know, 10 to
No,
15.
he didn't do it. He didn't do anything the people who it's the same. It goes right back to the business thing with Shea Moisture. All the black people put them where they at, and then they look who they hire and who they cater to. All the black people went out there signing people up to vote. They came in mass. 96% of black people that voted for Barack Obama. And when he got in there, he didn't do nothing for him. Look at who he did for, like the sister said, LGBT. He was focusing on immigration. He was focusing on all this other stuff, but didn't focus on the people that got him in there.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it's all about money at the end of the day. They don't care.
Everybody want to say that's the thing, and everybody want to use us to get a leg up, and then when they get where they at, like forget them. I'm like, I guess I come from the old school where don't forget the bridge that crossed you over. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. Like, how can you even sleep at night knowing you dissing the people that got you where you at? I don't know. I guess just where I was raised, we just had a certain system that we lived by, and I can't walk away from that system because, you know, these people today just suck. I heard Representative Al Green tried to come out to an event here in Houston, and the people put together in the community. He wants to get the microphone, start talking. Boy, they ran Al Green out of there. They started going off on him, talking about he never do nothing for the black community, but he want to come speak.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you gave me trust in these brothers with these perms.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, Shayla, you're right. He did. Yeah, talking about lecturing black people about not participating in the election. Right about that. He sure did. Talking about protect my legacy. Like, what? Protect your legacy? Man, the whole 8 years you was in there, we was getting gunned down by these race soldiers left and right. And you didn't put a stop to any of that. I mean, at least we gonna suffer. At least get something out of it. Mm-hmm. He didn't change. He didn't get these brothers and sisters out of jail that was put in there with these 3 strike laws from Clinton. He didn't overturn Clinton's crime bill. He didn't do any of that. He had the power to do all that mess. Look at Libya right now. African people are being sold into slavery in Libya by Arab Islamic jihadists. I don't know if y'all know that. The women being sold into sex slavery, and the men is being sold into labor type slavery, or they're taking their organs as well. And Libya was fine when Muammar Gaddafi was running the country. It was fine. They had no debt. That man wasn't hurting his people. Actually, that man was trying to help black people as much as possible. He was actually happy when Barack Obama got elected. He said, oh, well, finally we can work with America. There was a lot of countries happy when he got elected. My thing is, I seen that picture. Let me find that picture, Miss Gabriella. I got to find that picture. This picture here bothers me to this day. I mean, it sickens me to look at this picture. There we go. This picture, I'm gonna put this picture up on the screen so y'all can see this picture. Let's see if I can make it big. Well, I guess we don't need to make it big, but maybe y'all can see it right there. Let's see if I can exit that off the way there. This picture right here sickens me. It sickens me because Obama shook this man's hand. And went along with Hillary to kill that man. That man believed in Barack Obama. Believed in him. Thought he would be good, to help out Africa. And yet this man was wiped out. And the reason why this man was wiped out, because this man was trying to join Africa into one nation instead of separate nations. Because he wanted to change the currency to a gold dinar, and that was the only way you would buy and sell out of this new United States of Africa. Because he was trying to get the Chinese to put communication satellite in space, so they don't have to pay the West any money anymore to use their communication satellites. They was trying to build 3 central banks in Africa. They was trying to kick out all these other people so they could run their own country finally. That's what Gaddafi was trying to do. And Gaddafi and every African president that went along with trying to put Africa together, they end up being so-called mysteriously killed. Well, the fact is, Obama shook that man's hand, and that's something I can never forget.
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
It's like, how could you as a human being do that? But like I said, it's all about money.
Yeah,
it really is all about money.
Every time I look at Obama, I see that picture, I can't look at it. I said, I can shake your hand and then say go kill you. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Couldn't. I got more principles than that. That man's son came over here. Wait, Ms. Gabriella?
I'm trying to think. What did he really do for Africa? I'm trying to think. If anybody knows, what did Barack Obama do for Africa? Please tell me. Other than going to visit and maybe like helping out with tourism, I guess, for the time he was there, what did he do?
Nothing. All these people excited. Oh, Obama's back. Like
on parades and getting all excited, doing festivals and everything else, and he didn't do nothing for his people.
Yeah. I see the he getting on the black people about everything, but my thing is, Africa expected him to work with them to have a better relationship, and Africa has so much opportunity over there. A lot of countries was expecting that from him. They wasn't expecting the warmongering, the drone strikes. It's like something he said, though, I'll never forget. And he looked like Trump is doing the same thing. He said, no matter who is sitting behind that desk, he or she's going to realize that their hands are tied. That shadow government, and Trump coming there want to do what he want to do, and now look what he's doing now. Even his own people pissed off about that. Mm-hmm. His followers. Mm-hmm. So I can talk all night about some of the stuff Obama did. Trust me, I'm very disappointed in the things that he did, and we didn't get anything. We always getting stuck out as black people. Like, can we at least get something for a change? Just something for us that we can actually be happy about, instead of being stepped on.
I don't think so. We can't even have Black History Month. The shortest
Yeah,
month of the year, we can't even have that without somebody saying, "Why can't we have White History Month?"
yeah,
So,
that sort of thing. So somebody mentioned Robert Mugabe. I remember one time I made a video talking about at least Robert Mugabe run his country and he don't let them folks come in and tell him nothing. I had a African woman say, "You don't know Robert Mugabe. He's a dictator. He's this. He's that." I don't know if he is, if he isn't, but y'all keep voting him in. And he runs his country. So I don't know. Maybe they had more Robert Mugabes in African nations. They won't have the problems they have in them. Do you know America have a U.S. African Command? They have that in there.
no.
They have a whole post in African nations. I don't know if y'all know that. But you don't see no African nations having stuff over here. No, yeah, Mugabe don't. Yeah, you're right. He don't play ball. And every time you have a leader, I'm surprised even Mugabe stayed alive. You had what was it, Idi Amin, Patrice Lumumba. Actually, Patrice Lumumba, what American president? The CIA in France ended up killing Patrice Lumumba. Every time you have an African leader that's try to galvanize the people and try to change some things, something happens to them, even in their own countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I think he's 92. Yeah, you're right about that. Well, what African nations you been to, Ms. Gabriella?
It was really only just one, Ghana.
Ghana.
I'm not gonna really count like just passing through. You're not gonna count that.
I need to get out there because there's a lot of people been telling me, why don't you come out? And then I'm trying to work a deal where we can get on African TV because we want to get some sort of presence in Africa, and I would love to have some shows going on in Africa. I don't care if it's be for free. I don't care. I just want to get out there and let the African people know, hey, your brother from America. We'll talk about what's going on out there too. Because it's part of my dream to have a division of what we do in an African nation. Because believe it or not, they follow us very closely. Oh, so you want to go to Cameroon? Okay. Yeah. We gotta connect with Africa. Like I said, I want to see if we can put all this mess aside that we have, the Africa versus African American stuff. That's why we had that conversation with Janice about that. I think we just need to benefit each other. I think we would actually come together, have global unity. Man, ain't nothing nobody be able to do at that point, because we can tap into the resources of African nations. You got a lot of billionaires in Nigeria and many African nations. Mm-hmm. Don't sit up there and believe that feed the children crap about African nations. There's a lot of rich folks over there.
Yeah, they are. I would say the only problem though is that the rich don't, not all. Okay, not all. But a lot of the rich want to stay rich by keeping the poor poor. That's just what they do. And a lot of them, that's why you said that a lot of the African leaders, even in their own countries, if they actually really do want to do something to help the people, they get a lot of pushback from the rich because they're like, no. If you actually help them, it's going to mess up things for us. It's the same thing in America, which is why the poor stay on the bottom. It's all social engineering. It's on purpose.
Okay, one person said that they recommend starting in Nigeria. Said their aunt works with the media and she's a special advisor to the president on diaspora affairs. Well, shoot, email me. Y'all know my email address, and let's see if I can get my business manager in connection with them, and let's see what we can do in Nigeria. That's no problem with me. No problem with me at all. Oh, so you've been in Ethiopia? Okay. Okay. I have to read the email. But, guys, this is what we're going to do. Like I said, I know Ms. Gabriella has to turn in as well. But thank everyone for joining us tonight. I guess other people will catch it on the replay. And, when it comes to business, taking care of our money, please review the video and just really think about, what we're talking about here tonight as well, because I really want you guys to be self-sufficient. I want you guys to take care of your family, be happy, be homeowners, get your education, real estate, whatever else that you want to do, and take care of your health. I mean, because our health is very important. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're sick, then what's the point, right? So I want to thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.